What's up, everybody? It is everybody's favorite big beef beluga fish, Brutal Rob Hands. And no, I am not here with the poem, not here with the promo, definitely not watching my old matches. I'm in a car. I just harp on myself to be creative, and with the work that I do, it allows me to be creative. So I just want to be creative once a day and make some content to put on this fine platform of tubes that you watch. Hey, you too, I get it. Alright, so I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm sure I'll talk about wrestling. And I can't put hashtag pro wrestling in the title if I don't talk about wrestling. Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, long day today, and worked about 9 hours, driven over 100 miles, and I know by the time that I get home and I do my chores and I play Grand Theft Auto, and seeing how I've been dieting and dieting/fasting for the last couple of days, I'm going to have a cheat meal tonight. So I'm really looking forward to GTA and cheat meals. So I'm more likely not going to be creative when I get home. So let me take advantage of the fact that naturally my last job of the day of an 8-9 hour shift does not take me right near home. Nope, it takes me 20 minutes away from home. My last job of the day took me all the way out to Soda Bay, basically to the Kelseyville Riviera. If you're familiar with the area, Lake County, I live. Ooh, there's turkeys. There's turkeys in the road. I better slow down so I don't hit them. Turkeys, gobble gobble. You can't see them, but I saw them. I had to slow down for them. If you're familiar with the area, Lake County, I live in Lakeport, North Lakeport to be exact. So, you know, like a delivery or a job out there would have been great. But no, my last job of the day was in Soda Bay. But luckily for me, and luckily for you, and luckily for that bone of me that wants to be creative, I can use this time driving home. Since my podcast just ended, I can make a quick video talking about nothing. I'm like the Seinfeld of wrestling, you know? No goals, no aspirations, just show up, be a big beluga fish, make people laugh, make people cry, make people look up at me because I'm so giant, with the glint in their eyes, and that's it. No goals, no aspirations, just fun. That's Seinfeld of wrestling. Brutal Rob Hands. Alright. So yeah, speaking about work, since I was just talking about work, let's talk about wrestling. How this ties all into it. So I have downtime at work. That's the worst thing for me to have is downtime. Because if I have downtime, that means I'm not making money. That means I'm sitting, waiting to make money. So a lot of times, I will watch clips of wrestling. And you know what? This might be a shock to some people because of how meticulous I am with details and storytelling, just wrestling stuff in general. And for those who know me, this well enough, this won't come as a surprise. And you know, I don't know, being a wrestler for almost 12 years now, if this is something I should admit to or not. You know, it might be bad. It might be something I should be ashamed of, but I don't watch wrestling. And what I mean by that is I don't watch modern wrestling. Hey, it doesn't tickle my fancy. And instead of going online and complaining about this company or that company or any company because they're not putting on the sort of wrestling that I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of pretty much all wrestling. But I know what type of wrestling that I like. If I'm going to watch wrestling, I know the type of wrestling that I'm going to take the time out of my day and watch. And I watch that wrestling. There's a little thing called the internet. It's what you're watching me on right now. And, you know, it's that same thing that people go and complain about wrestling on. But you have the right to, you know. You have the right to have an opinion on wrestling, whether you're a fan, a wrestler, whatever. You have that right to have an opinion. That's what being a person is. But if you don't have wrestling out there that you particularly like to watch, I guarantee you, 100% guarantee, money back. For sure, money back, because I have none to give you. You can go on the internet and find the wrestling that you want to watch. Whether it's current, whether it's modern, whatever it is. And that's what I do. I pick out the wrestling that I want to watch, and I watch it. And shout out to Wrestling with Paul is the channel, because they had just a bunch of syndicated stuff of WWF. Like their syndicated stuff. And then the WWE Vault. Like, I watch a lot of cool stuff on the WWE Vault. You can also go in and find a lot of old WCW Saturday nights. So like ECW. There's wrestling for you to like if you want to watch it. But yeah, for me, I don't watch modern wrestling. I watch the wrestling I want to watch. It's been 3 years, 4 years possibly, since I've sat down and watched WWE or AEW or Ring of Honor, or New Japan, All Japan, whatever. You know, I watch what I want to watch, and I have no idea what else is going on in wrestling outside of what I'm personally doing in wrestling. If I'm going to worry about things in wrestling and worry about my energy and my time and what I think I should be doing, it's going to be in the stuff I'm doing in wrestling. Which, you know, quick plug, Folsom Street Fair, San Francisco, California, full queer. I will be wrestling there at the Folsom Street Fair for full queer. Oh, there's a person and a dog in the road. I better slow down. Ish. Yeah, no disqualification. I'll be there. I'll be getting wild. So that goes to, you know, something I came across today. And speaking about having opinions as a wrestling fan and how I thought about the product of wrestling at this time, WWE in specific, before I went out to work today. And you know, when I'm on my downtime, I find a lot of clips, whether it's little clips on YouTube, little clips on Facebook, and instead of just scrolling and watching the world go nuts, I'll watch these minute and a half long clips of wrestling content. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it both, and funny, and worked. So today, before I left for work, I'm sitting on the couch. Not a couch, I don't own furniture. I'm sitting in a chair. I shouldn't lie. I don't own furniture. I'm sitting in a chair, smoking a J, waiting to get in the shower once that's done, because, you know, I'm a responsible stoner. You know, I just don't, you know, end up having my first job of the day going to the courthouse and, you know, smell like a farm of weed. So, smoking a joint, I'm gonna go take a shower, but I'm watching, got something on YouTube going in the background, but I'm like also on my other phone looking at clips. And I came across this clip from 2010, 2011 maybe. Raw guest GM, and I'm guessing this is right around the time that I initially started training to be a wrestler. And that's what was a trip about this time, was WWE was not very, very good. But everybody that I met on the indies that was a wrestler, because I was just getting started, so they were all wrestlers, they weren't students. That was the goal. Like, you weren't having, in 2010 and 11, you weren't on the indies having fun like I'm doing today, and like many others across the country are doing today, having fun, and in some cases making money on the indies. That wasn't the case in the early 2010s. You were on the indies too, for one, because more than likely you loved wrestling. You were a wrestling fan. But you were on the indies to get noticed and hope WWE noticed you in some way. So that goes to what this clip was, and how funny that at the time I thought WWE, the product, was really, really bad, which in some cases it was. And I was, definitely be opinionated about it as a wrestling fan. But I came across this clip from the time, and I'm like, you know what? Several years older, like, this was good. I enjoyed this. This was fun. So basically, Edge, or for some of you younger fans out there, I forget, I'm getting old now. And, something that happened in my 20s, there might be a wrestling fan watching me right now that wasn't even born then. So, the Cope, I believe his name is, for you younger fans out there. I gotta make sure, I gotta pay attention here. This is a tricky intersection. So anyways, Edge was not happy with the Raw GM, which was a laptop at this time for you young kids out there. It's not a person. It wasn't a Teddy Long or, an Eric Bischoff, Vicky Guerrero, Mr. McMahon, nothing like that. It was a freaking laptop. So, Edge was mad at the laptop. The laptop, which later on was revealed to be Hornswoggle, Wrestling fans that think wrestling's bad today. And I don't know, I haven't watched it, but I see a lot of complaining online. Hornswoggle was a computer. Just putting that out there. Anyways. It's a clip from Raw, 2010, 2011. Edge is mad at the computer. So I guess Edge needs to qualify and win this match on Raw so he can be in like a 6-pack challenge for the championship. Yeah, main event or pay-per-view with a 6-pack challenge, Look, see, now even I'm becoming an opinionated wrestling fan. Look at me. Anyways, roll that window up so y'all can hear me. Edge has to win this match. The computer makes his opponent come out. Opponent's Great Khali. Fun fact, Great Khali trained at the school that I originally got my start in, called APW. There's some controversy that goes in with that. That's not a story for right now, and it's well documented, so I'm not going to speak on it. If you want to know about APW and Great Khali, you can go find that on the internet. So, Edge, Edge runs around, mocks Great Khali. Great Khali runs out of the ring, grabs him. Edge runs up the ramp, makes Khali chase him up the ramp, kicks him in the shins 2 times, and runs back to the ring before the 10 count. I'm like, awesome! What a good way to have a match, a TV match with a guy with an extremely limited moveset. And then the computer's like, I'm going to restart the match. I'm not letting you get away with that. Edge, the only way you can win this match that I'm restarting is if Great Khali, it's an over-the-top rope challenge. So it's like, there's no way he's going to put this giant over the top rope. So match starts. Great Khali, a little shine on Edge. I could clotheslines him right in the face, it looked like. It was slow, but I'm sure it hurt. And, Edge slides out from, this part popped me. Edge slides out from the bottom rope, and Great Khali, me being a fellow big man, I know exactly what you do here. We don't go through the middle and the top. If we're going out, we're going in and out of the ring, we're going over the top rope, baby. And sure enough, that's what our big friend from Punjabi did here. Punjab, our big Punjabi friend. That's what he did. He went over the top with both legs and jumped to the floor. Referee completely ignores it while Michael Cole is just going nuts at commentary, like, hey, ref. So, Khali does a few more Khali things, rolls Edge in the ring. Gets back in. Cole's still losing it while King's trying to explain, well, you got to be thrown over. Edge slides in the ring. Khali gets back in. Sorry. I gotta pay attention to some of these people while driving. Great Khali slides back in. Boom, boom, boom. A few more things to Edge. Edge slides through the bottom rope again. Great Khali once again over the top rope with 1 foot. And I'm like, dude, he does it again. Michael Cole's gonna pull out a pew-pew and go pew-pew to Great Khali from the commentary table. I'm trying to keep it. I want to maybe be monetized one day. So on that note, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. So I'm trying to keep it clean, word-wise. So I'm like, man, if Khali goes over the top like that again. But this time, Edge springs up, grabs Khali's other leg, pulls him down, wins the match. And like, what I'm getting at through all of this is just, this is a time in WWE widely regarded by most fans, especially fans of my age, the last 10 years, between, my age bracket, of like, man, that guest host era, that computer era, that Hornswoggle was a computer era, that was bad. But here is a 10-minute segment. I don't know if it was 10 minutes. It might have been 6 or 7, It was like one of those longer Facebook reels where where sometimes you can only show a minute, and then sometimes you can show a full episode of Law and Order SVU. Trust me, I've watched full episodes of SVU on YouTube before, or on Facebook before. So this was like a clip that was kind of in between those two. So, a 5, 6, 7 minute clip. But here, time in WWE I didn't like. A lot of fans regarded it as bad. And here was a 5, 6, 7 minute segment that, with the benefit of age, in hindsight, being older, I sat there this morning and I'm like, I really enjoyed this. Not just because I like bad wrestling, which I do. If you asked me what my favorite type of wrestling match is, I will say guiltily, my guilty pleasure favorite wrestling match is a match that is just a train wreck from the time the bell rings, and it just never, ever, ever gets on track, and it never ends. In fact, there'll be times where I'm watching a match, and, if it's between people I know, I feel bad. But if it's, strangers, man, I'll look over at someone and I'm like, I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. And they're just like, it's got to end. Guilty pleasure of mine. I like train wrecks, But I also like to be entertained, too, This wasn't a train wreck. This was an entertaining way to get 7 minutes, 2 segments worth of mini matches out of a guy who, back then he had a hard time walking to the ring. You're not going to be running tackle, drop down, leapfrog, get it again with the Great Khali. And if you go out there and you try to run tackle, drop down, leapfrog, get it again with someone like the Great Khali, then you need to go back to wrestling school, because you don't understand what we're doing here. Anyways, I just got home. That was an 18-minute video. I just wanted to be a little creative. So I am Brutal Rob Hands. I'm going to try to do more of this, where if I'm in the car and I got a little bit of time, free time, or I got some downtime, especially if it's like downtime, it might not be a full, concise video like this. It might be cut a little short if I get a job, but in fact, that's what I was literally about to just start not yelling, but I was literally about to start talking to my phone today around 11 o'clock, because I had been sitting for about 20 minutes, and I was just like, I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but I had the phone on. I was literally about to hit the red button, and then I got my first job for the day, and stayed. I did have some downtime, but I got to see the people in this town every day. So I just didn't want to be sitting in the benches outside of Safeway talking to my phone like a crazy person. I guess I could have. Who cares? I guess I could have. And maybe I will. But also, I like to talk in my car because I have everything, you know, near me. And literally the window, like up here, if you're going to sit in your car and do an 18-minute video, 20-minute video, it's got to be at this time of the day, or it's got to be early, because you'll sweat off 20 pounds if you try to do a 20-minute video at certain times of the day up here, this time of year. It's first day of autumn, and it was almost 95 up here today, so. And tomorrow's going to be hotter. But hopefully it'll start cooling down. It's nice out right now. But anyways, I'm going to try to do more of these where, you know, your favorite beef castle has some downtime, has a little bit of free time. And, you know, as much as I harp on myself about being creative, because I have the ability to be creative, I'm going to try to do more of these where I just talk to the phone. Probably about wrestling, you know. Definitely about wrestling. What else do I know about? I'm Sopranos, but I could talk about Sopranos. That's true. Video games. Select video games. Do know a lot about Grand Theft Auto. I could just talk. Hey, who knows what I'm going to talk about when I have downtime. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Especially comment. Comment, be like, yeah, Brutal. Spend 20 minutes in your car talking about The Sopranos. I want to hear it. Or video games. Whatever. Or just do wrestling. But also on the flip side of things, I'm still got promos. I still booked, so I still got promos. Promos will be on here. You want to see those. It's really all it is. I don't think I want to be a DoorDash rapper, you know. So, if you want to find my 2 DoorDash raps, go ahead and scoop those out. I would like to watch old matches, especially matches friends of mine, and by friends I mean Joey Smoke sends to me. But I'd like to do that when I actually have a computer and like I know how to use that computer, and you guys can watch me watching what I'm watching and be watching what I'm watching, if that makes any sense. So yeah, promos. You're going to see a lot of promos on here when I'm not just talking to my phone. And for any show that's not a Hood Slam, I really, really, really need to get on this and start doing a better job at this. I am spoiled by the Huckabees because they video a lot of the matches, so I know it's going to go out there online anyways. But for you 249 people that have been with me since day one, I need to do a better job of actually getting my matches out to you guys on my channel. Also, go check out the Stoner U page where Walter and Brenda Huckabee film all of our matches, not just mine, but film all of our matches. Much more better quality than my phone sitting up in the loft. But yes, whether it's Stoner U, Full Queer, Puppet Wars, not Hood Slam, because you gotta, you know, you gotta go to subscribe and watch the Hood Slam channel for that stuff. That's special. That's my paywall. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't think that's the right. I'm not putting the stuff I do for Hood Slam on my YouTube. That's for them. Anywhere else, unless they tell me otherwise, it's free game for me to film my match and put it up there. I'm gonna tag you in it. So yeah, hold me to it. I have a match this Sunday. I'll try to make sure I have someone film it. It's no disqualification. I'm gonna do some stupid crap, so I better put that on my YouTube. Anyways, this is Brutal Rob Hands, looking fancy as I can be with the sweatshirt and my glasses. Why am I wearing a sweatshirt when it's 93 degrees? Because I have half a brain. And I will see you guys the next time I decide to do something with my phone. Goodbye.